ever-changing view.
Things break on the bus.
New things to explore every 2 weeks.
But trying to figure out where to park every 2 weeks. Every lifestyle offers pros and cons.
But living full-time in a moving vehicle offers some unique challenges.
And that has got to be replaced. Do the pros outweigh the cons?
The list seems never-ending.
That's a con.
It's been a little while, hasn't it?
It's hard to get back in the swing of filming and talking to you guys.
We're staying in Livingston, Texas at the moment. It's been a little bit colder than we thought it would be in November, but it's not so bad. Not as warm as we thought.
Yeah, here in eastern Texas, it's a lot more wooded than in western Texas.
And we've been welcomed by Texas. Thank you to all our followers in Texas who have offered places to stay, to take us out for dinner. We really appreciate it. We felt very welcomed here. We haven't been able to take most of you up on it because we've been busy, and we're gonna update you on what's been going on with us, I guess. As we told you, we took a little break from putting out YouTube videos because November was such a busy month for Don's business. I decided to take this month for a little self-care and some research for a possible future business. Oh, kitty, don't knock it over. I had to give up my Pilates studio in Los Angeles in order to live this lifestyle. It was what I wanted, it was time, it was what I needed, but I love Pilates and it's been great to really dive into it this month. Don't knock over my camera. Hey, if you're up there, you can't knock it over. Now, doing a bus conversion or renovating a house is challenging. However, all you do is remove the old and install the new. But behavior change in your personal life is far more complex. You can't just throw out a habit you're accustomed to and start a new one. The first learned habit still remains in your brain, pecking at you saying, "But this feels familiar. Let's go back to this." The way it works best for me is to just pick one thing to change at a time. Instead of being like, I'm going to eat better, exercise more, improve my sleep, read more books, have less screen time, it can get too overwhelming and too many habits to change at once. So for me, the one habit that I wanted to work on changing during this month was my breathing. As a baby, I had a tracheotomy. It's when they cut a hole in your throat and put a pipe in for you to breathe because your throat is too constricted for you to get any airflow. This was very traumatic and the root cause of where my PTSD started. I was a very sick baby and a very sick child. I had croup, followed by being hospitalized for pneumonia. And then later on came the panic attacks where my throat would close and I had struggled to breathe. As a professional dancer and a Pilates teacher, I was always painfully aware that my breathing wasn't good. And over the years, I have dabbled in trying to improve my breathing and tried different techniques. But with so much trauma around this issue, it was always so hard, and I felt like I kind of gave up. It was never quite the right time, and I had to work on that trauma first through therapy by processing that trauma. And now I've found all these tools as well, these little tools that help me cope in daily life, that I felt ready at this point to really dive in to what's going on with my breathing and how can I improve it. I discovered the Oxygen Advantage. It's a breathing training program by Patrick McEwen. And I have to show you this. I think it's really neat. They have an app. It's completely free. This is not sponsored at all. I just want to share it with you because I think it's pretty great. You can track your progress and it takes you through breathing exercises based on what you need, whether you have breathing difficulties like I do, or asthma, or you're an athlete and you want to improve your breathing during your training, or you want to improve your sleep, or maybe you have panic attacks and this could help you control your breath in the panic attacks. Whatever the reason is, this app caters towards your specific needs. So I just had to share it because I've been really enjoying it. I can't say I've made amazing progress yet. I think it's one of those things that will take time. Consistency will always be key. Some days it feels like 2 steps forward, and then the next day 2 steps back. But I'm gonna stick with it this time. I feel like I am ready.
So the last month has pretty much, for me, been about sitting around on the computer. As many of you regulars know, I'm a composer and I also run a music technology company for news. It's been a pretty exciting time, lots of fun stuff. I've been playing with some new instruments, but that's not all we've really been up to. I've also had a lot of things to do.
Mr. Sweetface unfortunately needed to get dental surgery again, which has kind of been one of the stressful things about traveling so much, is each time we get to a new place, we have to find a brand new vet, and he's never been there, and I feel like it's very traumatic for him, but he has bad teeth, they say, and probably every year he's gonna need teeth cleaning, and hopefully they don't have to keep taking a tooth out every year.
He was at the vet for a full day, got him in the evening, and he recovered after a couple days, okay.
It took a little longer this time. It was a little bit rough, but he's okay now and he's doing good. Good news, the kitty's got a water fountain upgrade.
We've been using this plastic water fountain for a while. This stainless steel one looks pretty good, and the cats love it too.
And it's really quiet, which is important in a tiny house.
In the last episode, we shared some issues we had when our Jeep windshield had cracked. We had to have it replaced. Well, the Jeep expenses did not stop there.
November has been a very expensive month for us. First, there was the Jeep windshield. I always forget what the Americans call it. The windshield had to be replaced. Then, when we arrived at our campsite, our battery was dead. So we replaced the Jeep battery. Then
we had a tire issue, and it turned out in the end it was a flat tire because there's a nail in it, but we went ahead and decided that we've put enough miles on those Jeep tires. Just because we're towing it so much, it doesn't show up on the odometer, it's still putting wear and tear on the tires, so we went ahead and got brand new tires.
It was best to spend all that money.
So all that leads us to say that it's been an expensive month, and that's not even including the bus maintenance, which we'll talk about here in a moment.
But all these cons of maintenance and repairs that we have on 2 vehicles, we still feel like the pros of this lifestyle outweigh the cons. It's just something we have to deal with.
Mela has also been kind of busy on the computer this month. She's been doing a whole lot of editing.
I've been working on a documentary, different from our daily vlogs, and it's going to take me a little longer, but we're both really excited about it.
We'll share more about it, I guess, when we get it done,
yeah.
and release. But I think it's going to recap a lot of our travel.
Different way of looking at it.
Yeah.
One of the tools that I've found to help me recently is the Apollo Wearable. You wear the device on your body close to your bones, and it vibrates at different frequencies that can help balance your nervous system. You pair it with your phone, and then there's different vibes for different moods. It's like having a playlist for your body. Don and I wear our Apollos every single day for at least 90 minutes during the day and 90 minutes at night. The more you use it, the better it works. If you would like to get $50 off your Apollo, use our link below and code REHABITATE.
Come on. Who wants lunch?
They got spoiled. They're not going down. Go on, buddy. Go down on the ground. He's too spoiled now to sit on the ground. After Mr. Sweetface had his surgery, we just kind of fed him wherever he was, and Pizzicato was kind of scared of him because he was on painkillers, so he was a little different to her. So we just kind of went and fed them wherever they are, and now they think that's how it should be. I've been doing a lot of courses this month too, and one that Don did with me was on sprouting, because what better plant to grow in a tiny house than microgreens? We're kind of geeking out over it too. Just giving them a rinse. They're not quite ready to eat yet, but I can't wait to be just throwing this on top of our salad. We've kind of got like a whole plan. We're just trying it out and making sure we can do this. It doesn't seem hard, but you never know. In a tiny house, it might not work out that great. But if we like these, then we've got this like plan for our little like microgreens farm in the bus.
For lunch, we're having a little arugula Caesar salad with leftover vegetables. And then last night, I made this gluten-free pizza roll thing. I don't know. What would you call it, Mela?
Well, yeah, so gluten-free, dairy-free. I need to get the camera right first.
Okay.
It's a gluten-free, dairy-free pizza roll that you bake in the oven. But because it's a gluten-free, it kind of ended up what we're calling a pizza bomb.
Pizza bomb.
It's like a pizza bomb in your mouth. It's so good on day 2. I guess it's time we tell them about all the bus maintenance, huh?
The first order of business on fixing the bus was we ordered a new master relay. Now we know we've had issues with our master relay before. There's been times where we were driving the bus for 2 or 3 hours, we stop, we turn off the bus, we do something, we get back in, and we turn the key, and nothing happened. After some troubleshooting, we realized it was the master relay. So we literally would go outside and tap on it, and it would work again. I'm going to attempt to change out our master relay here. As you can see, it's kind of a serpent's nest, snake pit, I don't know what you call it. I've been told it's a very common thing to go out on these buses. I'm just labeling the wires and unhooking it. I managed to get it pulled out of place, only busted one knuckle. It's very difficult to work in here, just super tricky. I don't think there's any special kind of screwdrivers or anything. I think you just have to be real skilled. This back top one is the hardest screw to get in. I'm going to try to do it first as I put it back together. Okay, it's going okay. I got it mounted with 3 bolts because I had lost the other bolt. It fell down somewhere in there. It's pretty sturdy, and I've got half of it wired back up. Got to get the other side done, and then I can test my power, see if it's working. I have turned power on to the bus. I've got power going to the master relay. So I'm gonna have to start the bus to see if it works.
Phew, worked.
It works. Now we just gotta go drive sometime.
And then both of our mini splits were broken.
Got a little break today, and I thought I might try to get at least one other project finished. I shared that our mini splits were out. That back one started leaking on me when I swung it out a few weeks ago. I went ahead and put flex tubing in now, so when it moves, it's not gonna constantly be causing a lot of strain on the copper. The front mini split, something's been wrong with it for a very long time, and I think it's because we had a pretty bad kink in it. I've cut that kink out Up in the front, I'm gonna put some flexible tubing there. I've got my pipe wrench, my flaring tools, and I got a cat helper. Unfortunately, I was only able to get the 1/4 inch 3 feet, but I picked up the 3/8 inch piping as 72 inches, which is at 5 feet. I've also got some connector pieces that I ordered online. I've used these before. It's a way to quickly connect different pieces of the piping. And now one of the most important things is I need to remember to put the fitting on before you flare it. Otherwise you can't get the fitting on there. My assistant's down here sitting on the box, making sure everything's going smoothly. Going surprisingly smooth so far. I gotta flare the ends for my flex tube. That should be pretty easy because I can move them around wherever I need them. Now you see what happened there? I forgot to put my connector on, so I gotta cut it and redo it again. You don't want to have any cracks in your flare once you're finished. It just needs to be a nice trumpet. The seal is gonna happen on this inside lip when these two come together. These are the sealant. These things are like $1.50 each, which of course costs $4.99 to mail them to you. Did it again. Those are the kind of problems you have when you're worried about the camera running out of battery and it not falling over. I'm sure I would do it even if I wasn't filming, but and my tripod just snapped. This new cat water fountain box is gonna be my new tripod, so if it looks bad, that's why. Okay, inside front mini split is redone with flexible tubing. Got to get somebody to fill it now. Now my only debate is going to be, do I redo the outside as well? Because there's a lot of extra copper pipe that only will lead to problems down the road. It may save me a few hours and a couple $100 if I do it now, although pretty wiped out. I might not do it today. And when we had that big issue about our oil filter leaking, which could have been disastrous, so we knew we wanted to get that taken care of, and we figured we might as well get an oil change, even though it was a little sooner than we actually needed it.
We're at the mechanic today getting a oil change. Donna's got all the supplies. We just needed somebody to do it for us. The bus did great getting here. We had no problems, but we really don't know if the master relay has fixed our shifting problem until we drive much further, because the problem only happens when the bus gets really warm and then we stop and idle for a little bit and then go again. So the real test will be when we make our next move to our next campsite. But for now, checking things off the list.
So if you've been keeping track of our big to-do list on the bus, that means we've only got 2 more major things that we want to get done here in the next month or 2. We've got that leak in our alternator, which we're either going to replace it with a air-cooled alternator. We got a recommendation from another bus owner. And we also would like to get new tires. Our front tires are great. All the tires in the back but one are looking pretty worn. They're old enough now that we should probably change them out, so that's something we're going to try to put down on the list for December.
The list seems never ending.
That's a con. The list of maintenance when living in a vehicle seems never ending.
But there's the home maintenance too, right? On top of the vehicle maintenance.
We have not been shy about sharing the pros and cons of living in our bus. But what about you guys? Do you think you could live in a bus?
Pitsy Connor, can you live in a bus? You love it, don't you? Can you tell them how much you love living in a bus? I get belly rubs and just watch out the window all day at different views, right?
This has been a great place for the cats to just stare out the window and watch these little squirrels run back and forth all day long. So we just got a couple more days left here in this park in Livingston, Texas. And then we're gonna head somewhere kind of fun for a week or two to spend Christmas. But other than that, we don't have a lot of plans.
One plan we do have is that we are gonna attend Schoolypalooza again this year. And we decided we should hold a meetup to meet you guys. Who's going to Schoolypalooza? We wanna see you. So if you want to meet up with us at Schoolypalooza, make sure you sign up in our mailing list. We'll leave the link below because we won't be able to say exactly where or when until we get there. It's one of those events where you don't know where you're gonna camp until you get there. So we'll put all the details in a newsletter. So make sure you sign up to get all the details.
We'll see you next week.